I'm so grateful that I got to see Press Shop in Atlanta recently. My name's Mark Fletcher. I'm the owner of Tower Systems, point of sale software company. I also own a marketing group that helps retailers build stronger and more viable and enjoyable businesses. And I get to see a lot of retail. And I've just been in Atlanta. I'm recording this in late January 2024. I've just been in Atlanta at the Atlanta Market, the gift fair, three huge buildings. And while I was there, I got to see some retail, which I always like to do when I'm traveling. And one of the shops that I got to was a shop called Press Shop in Summer Hill in Atlanta. And Press Shop it presents itself as being a very cool kind of eclectic mix of gifts. And it's more than that. It's much, much more than that. So I want to share with you some photos to take you into Press Shop as I saw it when I was just there recently. You get to the outside of the shop, and this is what you see. It's pretty good, very straightforward, really good message. I like the sort of olive tone, and it says Press Shop, goods for all types. Now, it's very clever. It's a very clever play on words, as you'll see when you step inside. But before we do that, I did some research, and I want to share that research with you because the research was kind of helpful in setting up my visit to Press Shop. This is from the About Us page on their website, and it says, "This is Press Shop. It's a thoughtfully curated gift shop with a strong local and online presence. Our focus is on connecting the maker with the buyer in a way that feels genuine, non-obligatory, and meaningful." That's so true. That's exactly what I experienced. They were presenting products in a way that was smart, clever, engaging. I had a sense of what was local and what wasn't sourced locally. And so I really liked the way they position themselves on their website, and that the website very much represents what you'll see in store. I love how they represent the different people in the business with these plants, and they do that on the website, which is pretty cool. The website also represents the kind of products that you've got access to in the shop. And then when you get to look at an individual product, the website is as useful as going to the shop. A lot of good information, good images, good visuals, really represents it well. So if you get a chance, have a look at the Press Shop website, but let's have a look inside the shop. As you go to the front door, they're very clear. They don't handle cash. That's cool. I'm okay with that. And it's just a straightforward message. Dogs are welcome, and it's kid friendly. Really good, welcoming, open arms. I also like the fact that I was there on a Friday night, and they had this message there, closing early tonight so everyone can make our staff party. And that's pretty cool. It's just a nice, fun way to let people know something, important like that they're closing early. This is why I think the branding of the business at the front, as I mentioned, is pretty cool, because you step inside the shop and here you've got a printing machine or two printing machines. Over on the right-hand side, as you step inside the front door, this is exactly what you see. You've got greeting cards on the back wall. Some of them are being made here, and some of them are being brought into the business. And then you've got this printing kind of business here set up at the front, which is a service they provide their customers. So it's a very active, engaged, really sets the tone for the shop, even though the press wasn't working when I was there. Just really cool to see. As you look around to the left-hand side, what you see here is really clever retail, I think. So the kind of the olive tones, maybe I'm getting that color wrong, but what I would say is the olive tone on the outside is represented here on the inside. You can see with the way the shelving is colored here. But then they're using kind of everyday items like this item here to display this feature as you look inside, just inside the front door. It's a really nice display, very clever use of kind of everyday furniture to represent products. The shop doesn't feel over full. And right here, when I'm looking at this, I get a sense that the shop is very much true to what they're saying on the website the shop is about. And that is that it offers a curated range of gifts. And that's what these displays feel like. The shop doesn't feel overly full. The shop doesn't feel difficult to navigate. It feels, even from this first glance, it feels cohesive. As you look right around to the left, you've got kind of this kitchen area where you see a range of kitchen items, and we can go in and, you've got these maraschino cherries. Now, this is a gift shop. It's not a baking shop or a homewares kind of shop necessarily somewhere you go to buy baking ingredients. But, maraschino cherries are one of those things that they make a nice gift. This packaging is fantastic. And, right next to it, you've got these sort of pin things that you'll be using possibly for olives, for cocktails. And I'm guessing that's where the cherries sort of fit next to it. And then you've got these little trays here for putting pips onto. I'm guessing that's what you could use them for at least. So my point is they're telling stories with the products that they're ranging and with how they're placing the products within the business. You've got here this fish candle. I saw the packaging up here and I thought, what on earth is a fish candle? And then I look down and there it is. I can see it, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can smell it. Perfect retail experience. This wonderful packaging. It's an awesome gift to give somebody, particularly if you like giving gifts that people are not going to get from somebody else. And here I can see what it actually is with having to open one myself. They display product really well. You've got the soaps here. I can, again, pick them up, sense them, touch them, feel them. The shop itself is laid out in such a wonderful way that you've got those sort of experiences dotted through. Look at this here. You've got some wrapping paper here next to some stationery, next to that sort of kitchen, homewares, baking section. And everything just kind of makes sense. It all flows, but I can be in an area that's quite specialized and feel really good about it. You've got really clever uses of different items within the business. So you've got this little metal drawer set that's being used to display pens. Absolutely fantastic. I really love the way that looked. It felt whimsical, but also practical for displaying pens in that way. And here, it's kind of random. You've got Austrian paper twine on a wooden spool for $9 each. I thought that's pretty cool. Excuse me. You've got a range of journals and other sort of items here. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking kind of, how does that all come together? Well, you've got different things here that are reflective of reflection, I guess, if you like. You've got some small cups, you've got things that might hold mead or something else that you're going to pour from. Then you've got these journals. So there's a Build a Habit Guide, and this is a research-backed program to make habits stick. Or you've got the After Trauma Notebook, written exposure therapy to process, release, and heal. These are all in this sort of section here. The blue one is how to travel. Again, this is kind of a very different approach to selling journals, which I thought was just fantastic. Another place in the shop, you've got this kind of round table that's just a collection of different items. You've got some small baby clothing there. You've got a little kid's bento box. This kind of is a kid's section. It doesn't scream kids section, but it's really beautiful that it's just this selection of gifts there. And if I'm buying for a kid, I think I'm going to be able to find something that I'm looking for. Then you get into the books. I mean, this just looks like a library. It's fantastic. This is one of several areas of the shop where you can see books, and you've got all sorts of books that you've got access to. As you can see on the shelves there, you've got, you very quickly pick out, say, the Michelle Obama autobiography. And then you've got all sorts of other books through here, and you've got the ladder to get further up if that's what you want to do. Towards the back, there's a separate kids section, big clothing section with some books. Again, very shoppable, easy to see, easily presented, just fantastic. And across on the other side, opposite that, this feels like a reading nook, but it's actually a nook with different art pieces in there, art prints that you can buy if you wanted to decorate your home with some art prints. There's a section of pet-related items, fun, higher end, fashion-forward sort of pet pieces that are really interesting. But when you come back to the front of the shop, you see this printing setup, and it's just a reminder of, this is an anchor service that the business provides. What I didn't get in my photos, of course, was there are about 30 or 40 bags of wine waiting to be collected, because one thing you can buy on the website, if you go and check out Press Shop, is you can buy wine and have it set up there to go and pick up from them. And they seem to be doing a fairly good business of that late in January. So you've got this business that presents itself as being a printing business, a curated gifts business, and a wine business as well. What I liked about the shop was it was fun to shop. It was enjoyable. This sign in the window kind of, yeah, you deserve a little treat. And visiting the shop is certainly like that. It's a treat. They say that press shop goods for all types. So you see what I mean about, the typesetting, printing in the front of the shop. And I thought that was pretty quirky and pretty fun. But, I want to make a couple of points about press shop, what I really enjoyed about it. They say on their website that that it's a shop of curated gifts, or a curated gift shop. It really is that. You get a real sense that they've thoughtfully put together the gifts that they offer within the business. It's cohesive. Everything is there with intention. And if you look at particularly gift and homewares retail, I think you've got to think about the shop as if it's a jigsaw, and that every piece has to lock in with the piece next to it. It's got to make sense. It's got to fit. And I think it's easy, particularly in independent retail, for us to just put them somewhere, rather than to think about where they're best placed to fit in, to connect with what's next to them. And Press Shop does that. Press Shop gives us a range of gifts. It feels like it's constantly moving, constantly evolving. And, it has this feeling of being a very successful business because it presents confidently. It presents, I think, with a feeling of success. So I think the confidence, the cohesiveness, really make a difference to what you experience when you go into the shop. And when I get to see, good retail like that, it's really exciting because, there's retail can be pretty shitty out there, particularly independent retail. And, I don't really care much for the big retailers, the mass retailers, the national chains, because they do things in their very, cookie cutter, one size fits all approach, which, while that helps what they're pursuing in terms of share price and bottom line, the reality is, if you're a local shopper looking for something different, and keen to express yourself differentially or creatively through your gift purchasing, then visiting somewhere like Press Shop is really going to help you do that. And that's what I think is really clever. I think their approach is just amazing. And if you do get to Press Shop, if you happen to be in Atlanta, in Georgia, and you get to Press Shop, make sure you go there, leaving enough time to go across the road to a restaurant called Little Bear. Little Bear is just there, and I've been there twice now. It's absolutely fantastic. It is, for me, it's a must-visit restaurant in Atlanta. This Summer Hill area is not where a lot of tourists would get to. It's also not where a lot of the trade show attendees would get because, it's a bit out of town. It's well worth a visit. Press Shop's worth it. Little Bear as a restaurant is well worth it. So, I came away from there. On this particular trip, I was in Atlanta, Dallas, and New York, saw a lot of retail. I think Press Shop is in there among the top retail businesses that I saw. Again, because it felt cohesive. Everything felt connected. It felt intentional. It made sense. And I think that's a big thing in retail. A shop that draws you in and encourages you to go further and further and further and ride around the shop without someone chasing you, without someone saying, can I help you? Without someone saying, oh, this is my favorite thing, as if that really matters to me. I don't kind of care what their favorite thing is because I don't know who they are and I don't know what their feelings are and what matters to them. So even though, it's courteous and nice for them to say that, I don't like it when retailers say that. And the Press Shop, they didn't, it was great. They didn't get in the way, and they were busy doing their own thing. So I really enjoy the shop. Well worth visiting. If you're in Atlanta, get to have a look at it, because I think Press Shop's pretty awesome. If you can't get there, have a look at their website. That's well worth a visit, and it really gives you a good sense of who they are and what they do. Thanks for watching.